Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. The Miami Dolphins are in a storm before the season has even really started. One game into the new NFL year, and already the Dolphins are staring down the barrel of a season that could spiral out of control if they don't find answers fast. Their opener against the Indianapolis Colts was not just a loss. It was a full-scale disaster. The kind of performance that sends a ripple of panic through a fan base and sparks endless speculation in the media. The scoreboard read 33-8 in favor of the Colts, but the numbers barely tell the full story. Watching the Dolphins struggle on both sides of the ball, you could see dysfunction in every single phase of the game. Defensively, they were utterly incapable of slowing down an offense that should have been a manageable challenge. Every single one of the Colts' 7 offensive possessions ended in a score, leaving fans and analysts alike wondering if the Dolphins' defensive schemes were even installed before kickoff. To make matters worse, Daniel Jones, a quarterback who many had written off after an inconsistent stint with the New York Giants, looked like an all-pro talent under the lights in Miami. The Dolphins' defensive line seemed non-existent at times, linebackers were slow to react, and the secondary was repeatedly caught flat-footed. It was the kind of performance that makes you question not just the players on the field, but the entire defensive approach and coaching philosophy. On the offensive side, things were hardly better. Tua Tagovailoa, the quarterback who carries so much expectation as the leader of this team, struggled mightily. 2 interceptions and a lost fumble in a single game is more than a bad day. It's a glaring example of a unit that hasn't clicked. Every timing route seemed off, every decision questionable, and the chemistry that fans hoped for with his star wideouts seemed more like a distant dream. Tyreek Hill, Miami's all-pro receiver and one of the league's most electrifying talents, was seen on the sidelines visibly frustrated, yelling at an assistant coach in the heat of the moment. For a player of Hill's caliber to publicly express his irritation in such a way only amplifies the sense of unease around the franchise. It's no secret that Hill's contentment in Miami has been a subject of debate throughout the offseason. His frustration has simmered for months, and now, 1 week into the season, it's boiling over in front of fans and cameras. Naturally, this kind of visible unhappiness fuels trade speculation. A player of Hill's stature, at the peak of his career, is always going to draw attention if he's not fully invested in his current situation. Fans and pundits alike have been wondering if Miami might consider moving him, especially given the high price tag associated with his talent. But according to ESPN's Jeremy Fowler, the Dolphins are not currently entertaining trade offers for Hill. Fowler reported that while Miami has received inquiries, they have shown no interest in parting ways with the 31-year-old star at this point. Trade rumors around Tyreek Hill will be worth watching, Fowler wrote, noting that the Dolphins have already committed to Hill financially by exercising his $15.85 million option bonus, with a $10 million base salary and additional per-game incentives. While it's clear that Miami values Hill's contributions, Fowler suggested that continued losses could reopen discussions, which leaves the door just slightly ajar for speculation. Another angle that has surfaced is a potential return to Kansas City. Hill's first 6 seasons were spent in Kansas City, where he became a household name and played a pivotal role in the Chiefs' Super Bowl 54 victory in 2019. His time in Kansas City solidified him as one of the league's most explosive receivers, capable of changing games on a single play. Fowler noted that with the Chiefs facing their own struggles at the receiver position, whether due to injuries, suspensions, or inconsistent production, Hill could theoretically find a home back in the familiar red and gold, though this remains purely speculative at this point. Hill's talent is undeniable, his speed and route-running ability unmatched, and the thought of him reuniting with Patrick Mahomes is enough to make any NFL fan sit up and pay attention. Despite the uncertainty, Hill himself has not hidden his feelings. After last season, he made it clear that while he appreciated his time in Miami, his priority is what's best for his career. His candid words, "I'm out, bruh," as reported by ESPN, underscore a tension that has been building for months. Fans watching Hill's sideline outburst against the Colts can't help but feel the weight of his dissatisfaction. It's one thing to have a superstar under contract, and another entirely when that player is publicly frustrated and signaling that he may not be fully committed to the team's direction. In a league where momentum, morale, and cohesion often dictate success as much as raw talent, having a star player's mind elsewhere can be an invisible weight dragging down the entire organization. Looking forward, the Dolphins face a crucial matchup this Sunday against the New England Patriots. This game will not only test Tua's ability to bounce back from a nightmare opener, but it will also provide a measure of how the team's chemistry holds up under pressure. The Patriots, a team historically known for discipline and tactical execution, could exploit every weakness exposed in the Dolphins' season opener. For Miami, the stakes are high. A second consecutive loss would deepen the sense of urgency and potentially accelerate any internal discussions about roster moves or coaching adjustments. Fans will be watching closely not just the scoreboard, but the body language and sideline interactions. Tyreek Hill's attitude, the offensive line's protection schemes, the defense's ability to finally generate pressure, all of it will be under a microscope. It's important to remember that Hill remains one of the most dynamic offensive threats in football. His speed and playmaking ability can turn a game on its head in an instant, making him indispensable when healthy and engaged. The Dolphins' challenge is to find a way to harness that talent while managing the personality and expectations that come with it. Historically, teams that fail to balance superstar egos with team cohesion often find themselves in a downward spiral, but teams that get it right can be unstoppable. Miami is now at that crossroads, and how they navigate the next few weeks could define their season. The narrative surrounding Hill, whether he stays or ultimately seeks a move, will be one of the biggest storylines of 2025. While trade speculation remains part of the conversation, the Dolphins' current stance appears firm. They value Hill too highly to entertain deals, at least for now. However, football is a results-driven business, and if the team's struggles persist, even the most untouchable stars can become trade candidates. The coming weeks will be a delicate balancing act of managing expectations, addressing on-field deficiencies, and ensuring that one of the league's premier talents doesn't check out mentally or physically. For Dolphins fans, it's a roller coaster of emotion. Excitement for what Hill can bring, frustration over a disastrous opener, and anxiety about the team's immediate future. Every decision, every adjustment, and every game from here on out will be magnified. Ultimately, the Dolphins' opening game was more than just a loss. It was a statement, a warning that without rapid correction, the season could spiral. Tyreek Hill's outburst on the sidelines was emblematic of a larger issue, a team searching for identity and consistency. Whether Miami can align their superstar talent with a struggling quarterback, a porous defense, and a coaching staff under pressure remains to be seen. The narrative is now set. The Dolphins are in early season turmoil. A world-class receiver is expressing frustration, and the fan base is watching with bated breath. If the team can right the ship and get Hill fully engaged, they still have the talent to compete at the highest level. If not, the specter of trade rumors and internal discord may hang over Miami for the rest of the year. The next few games, starting with the Patriots matchup, will likely define not just the Dolphins' record, but the future of one of the NFL's most electrifying players. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments. What's your take on the Fins this week? Hold on to your seats, folks, because the NFL rumor mill has just exploded with one of the most talked about moves of the offseason, and it's sending shockwaves through the league. Brian Robinson Jr., yes, the powerhouse running back who made defenses tremble with his combination of speed, vision, and brute force, has reportedly sealed a deal to join the Miami Dolphins, and sources are suggesting this move is designed to completely reshape the way the Dolphins attack on the ground. Now, you might be thinking, okay, they have a solid offensive line and some decent backs, but why Robinson? Well, the chatter behind the scenes is that Miami is ready to make a statement. They want to dominate the trenches, control the clock, and give their quarterback options that defenses simply can't predict. And let me tell you, Robinson Jr. is the kind of player who can make that vision a reality. From what insiders are whispering, this isn't just a standard signing. There are hints that the Dolphins see Robinson as the centerpiece of their rushing attack, a guy who can take pressure off the passing game and turn every possession into a potential scoring drive. Imagine a back who can not only grind out tough yards between the tackles, but also break off explosive plays on the edge. A back who defenders fear from the first snap to the last. That's exactly the reputation Robinson has built over the last few seasons, and the Dolphins apparently believe he is the missing ingredient to take them from a competitive team to a legitimate contender. It's one of those moves that seems so obvious in hindsight, but right now, it's got fans, analysts, and even rival teams talking nonstop. You can almost hear the buzz in every NFL front office. Miami just changed the game. Now, let's talk about what this could mean for the Dolphins' offensive scheme. Brian Robinson Jr. is not a one-dimensional back. He has the kind of versatility that allows a team to run multiple looks without tipping their hand. Sources close to the Dolphins' coaching staff are hinting at a shift toward a more physical, downhill running approach. The type where the offensive line is given the freedom to impose its will, the quarterback can manage the game without forcing risky throws, and defenses are simply worn down over the course of a game. And here's the kicker. Robinson's arrival might also open up the play-action game in a way Miami hasn't seen in years. Defenders keying on him in the backfield could create massive windows for the passing attack, meaning this move could actually elevate the entire offense, not just the rushing totals. It's exactly the kind of ripple effect that makes GM decisions so critical, and the Dolphins appear to have struck gold here. But here's where it gets even juicier. The rumor mill is also buzzing about the impact this signing could have on the rest of the roster. Players are reportedly excited, teammates are energized, and locker room dynamics could shift in a big way. Robinson Jr. brings not just talent, but attitude, a kind of relentless, never-back-down mentality that can infect an entire squad. There's talk that the Dolphins' younger backs will have to step up their game in practice just to keep up, and that internal competition could actually elevate the team as a whole. And you know how the NFL works. Once one team starts flexing like this, everyone else takes notice. Rival teams are now likely reconsidering their defensive strategies, potentially even scrambling to adjust their rosters in response. Miami isn't just acquiring a player. They might be setting a tone for the entire league. Of course, there's the financial angle too. While exact contract details haven't leaked in full, sources suggest that Miami was aggressive in making this deal happen, willing to invest significant cap space to bring Robinson on board. And you can understand why. They're betting that his contributions on the field will more than justify the investment. It's the kind of move that screams confidence, a front office saying, "We're not here to tread water. We're here to compete for a championship." And in a league where momentum matters as much off the field as on it, this kind of high-profile acquisition can have a psychological effect, sending a clear message to both fans and opponents alike. The Dolphins are serious, and they are not messing around. Now, let's dive into the speculation surrounding how Robinson will actually be used week to week. Rumors from inside sources suggest Miami might deploy him in a heavy rotation early in the season to ease him into the system, but expect the coaches to lean on him in critical situations, especially in short yardage and goal line scenarios. There's also chatter about using him creatively in open field situations, lining him up in motion, or even letting him catch passes out of the backfield to keep defenses off balance. If these whispers hold true, we're talking about a player who could consistently force defenses to prepare for multiple threats, week after week. And let's not forget the intangible, his leadership on the field. Robinson is known for his work ethic and professionalism, and those traits often set the tone for the entire offensive unit. It's also interesting to consider the timing of this signing. The Dolphins are rumored to be positioning themselves not just for immediate success, but for sustained relevance in the AFC. Adding a back like Robinson Jr. sends a message that they're thinking long-term. We've all seen teams struggle with aging rosters or lackluster rushing attacks, and Miami seems intent on avoiding that trap. Rumor has it that there's already internal talk about structuring the offensive line to maximize his strengths, possibly even adjusting draft strategies and free agency priorities to complement him. This isn't a last-minute experiment. This is a calculated move, and the people making the decisions are reportedly feeling confident that Robinson is going to pay dividends from day one. And of course, fans are going wild. Social media has been ablaze with speculation, highlight reels, and reaction videos since news of the deal first hit. Dolphins fans are already imagining the bruising runs, the big plays, and the excitement that comes with a back who can change the tone of a game in an instant. Meanwhile, analysts are weighing in, debating whether this signing could tilt the balance of power in the AFC and rival teams are undoubtedly starting to tweak their defensive strategies just in case. It's that kind of buzz that makes off-season rumors so irresistible. Everyone has an opinion, everyone has a prediction, and everyone wants to see if it will actually materialize on the field. At the end of the day, whether or not Robinson Jr. becomes the centerpiece that Miami hopes for, the mere fact that this move has taken place is enough to make the NFL landscape feel different. The Dolphins have officially sent a signal to the league. They are not content with being underdogs. They are not interested in incremental improvement, and they are willing to make bold, headline-grabbing moves to achieve their goals. As the season approaches, all eyes will be on Robinson, on the Dolphins' offensive line, and on how quickly this new chapter in Miami football can take shape. And if the rumors about the internal excitement and locker room energy are even half true, we might be witnessing the beginning of something truly special. So buckle up, because if these rumors hold water, the Dolphins' ground game just got a major upgrade, and Brian Robinson Jr. could be the key to unlocking a new era of dominance in Miami. The buzz isn't just speculation anymore. It's anticipation, it's hope, and it's a story that's only going to get louder as the season draws nearer. And in a league where momentum, matchups, and morale can shift in an instant, adding a back like Robinson could be exactly the spark the Dolphins need to turn potential into reality. The rumor mill is hot, the Dolphins fans are ecstatic, and everyone else in the league is taking notice. If all of this plays out the way insiders are whispering, the Miami Dolphins offense might not just be improved, it might be transformed. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up.